Hi everyone. In this video clip, I want to demonstrate how to use two software called FileZilla and the Visual Studio Code. Uh, for Module 4, uh, previously I have used WinSCP as a software. If I can teach you face to face, our computer lab use Windows machine, and we can just use WinSCP to upload, download the files, and even we can edit this file using embedded editor. And if you are still using Windows machine, there is no problem, there is no issue with using just WinSCP. But I know a lot of students are using Mac, and for Mac users, there is no software like a WinSCP. So therefore, you have to set up similar development environment. And for this, previously I recommended to use just the Visual Studio Code, but it did not work very well. So here in this video clip, I want to demonstrate how to combine FileZilla and the Visual Studio Code together. Okay, so first of all, let's see where you can download FileZilla. So if you just search FileZilla, the default website is filezillaproject.org. You can just download the client for, but I wanna, give you just one very important note. From this year, FileZilla actually include a lot of adwares. So do not download this, first link on the first page. Instead, please go to this download the link on the left side. And if you go there, you can find more options. So again, Mac OS do not download this default one, but let's check more download options. So show additional download options, you must go there. And finally here, you have a kind of a clean installation version for Mac OS and also Windows. So if you are using Windows, you can download this. And if you are using Mac user, please download this FileZilla 34721 and the Mac OS version. So if you click it, you can download it and you can install it, right? Okay, so after you click it, it's gonna download it. That will be downloaded. And if you open your download folder, Windows machine, you can just install it. But for Mac users, after you download it, by default, in my case, it's downloaded in download folder. So let me see, where is it? Here, FileZilla. If I double click, the archived utility is now unzipped, and there is FileZilla. But I don't want to keep this in download, so I may want to move it. So how to move this? You can just click, and I want to move it to applications. So here is applications, right? So if I go back, I may want to move this to applications. Okay, so you can, I already have one. So I want to replace it, but you can just easily move. So now applications have FileZilla. So let's see, there is a FileZilla, right? Now let's download the other software. The other one is Visual Studio Code. So let's Google it. And here in Google, Visual Studio Code. That is the software that we want to download. So let's go to Visual Studio Code website and then let's download for Mac. In this case, you can just download the default one, the stable build. So let's download it. Here, you can allow and it's downloaded. Again, it is downloaded by default in download folder. So let me open from Finder, and there is a Visual Studio Code. If I double click it, similar to FileZilla, we can see there is a Visual Studio Code unzipped application. So I want to move it to application folder as well. So I want to move here in applications. So I already have one, so I'm gonna replace it, but you can just move it. So now under applications, you have two new software. The first one is FileZilla here, and the other one is Visual Studio. So let's make sure we have these two. Assuming you have these two software, now I will show you how to make a connection using FileZilla and how to edit your files from Visual Studio Code. So let me open FileZilla first. So FileZilla, and I can find it, and I will open FileZilla here. So now I have this FileZilla, and the first screen here, what you can find is it's very similar to WinSP as you may watch in your video clips. On the left side, there is a local machine, so your desktop. And on the right side, we want to connect to Valhalla server. So to connect to Valhalla server, host name is Valhalla sourcevalue.edu. And the username is, for me, actually, last name and first name, so CHA and the H, but you have your own username. Password you already know, so info386, your student's ID. And the port number is 22. Remember, port number is 22. And if you click connect, you will make a connection. Okay, after you successfully connect, the first one on the right side, it's very similar to WinSP, but you will see your home directory. So it's under home, and your username is here. So home and your username. So under home, there are many users, but as you can see, if you are trying to access the other people's folder, you cannot create any folder because access permission is denied. Only your own folder you can access. So in my case, I can go back to my folder. So remember, this is in Linux server, this is called your home folder, home and your username. Now, to develop any web application, as you will watch your first lecture, first topic video, you must create a very important folder called public HTML first. So therefore, under CHAH, so my user folder, I will create a new directory. So let's double check under home, my username, and the new directory is case sensitive. Be careful, public underbar HTML. If you make any typo, you will not see your web page, so make sure it is correct. So here, public HTML folder I created. You can see here, public HTML. Now, any web pages like HTML pages or PHP code, you must store inside the public HTML. So let's double click public HTML. And now under public HTML, since we have several topics, we want to divide this using subdirectory. So under public HTML, make sure home, your name, public HTML. Inside here, we want to make a first subdirectory. Let's create another directory. And this is under public HTML. And let's name it as M4P1. Everything is case sensitive, so be consistent. I want to use uppercase M41 as a directory name. So now I have an M4P1 directory. So far, it's very similar to WinSCP if you watch my regular lecture video clips. Now, M41, inside M41, I want to make a new test HTML page. So how can I make it? Now, let's right click, and I want to create a new file, and I want to name it as test.html. Okay, now we created test.html, and I want to edit something because there is nothing in this file. So when I want to edit it, if you right click, now when you view and edit, now actually, you you should open Visual Studio. In my case, I already set it up, so I can open it. But in your case, there is one thing you must do. So to edit your file, when you use WinSCP, listen carefully. When you use WinSCP, there is embedded editor. So you can just edit it, as you may watch in my video clips. However, for Mac user, when you install this FileZilla, FileZilla does not have any embedded editor. So therefore, you have to edit your file, and if you made any changes, you must upload your updated file back to your server. Okay, so the mechanism here is, when you have a file, you can make, let's say, temporary local copy, and you can edit it, and then you need to upload it back to your server. So to edit your file, you can use system default editors like a text edit for Mac users. But if you use a professional, editing tool, it's more convenient. So that's why we installed the Visual Studio Code. So what we want to do is we have to set up this Visual Studio as an editor for your FileZilla. For this, up above here for FileZilla, there is a settings. So let's click settings, and you have to go to file editing, and your setting may be a little bit different. So first of all, instead of do not use default editor, you have to use a custom editor. Let's click use custom editor. And if you browse it, go to application, and remember we moved the Visual Studio Code under application. So choose Visual Studio and open it. So now by setting up like this, whenever you try to edit any file, you are going to use this Visual Studio Code as a software. Okay. Now, here, instead of use file type associations if available, we want to use this Visual Studio for any type of your file. So please change it to always use default editor. Okay, so just two settings. Click this radio button, use custom editor, and specify this Visual Studio Code as your editor. And also click always use default editor. That's just the two settings you must modify, and click OK. Now, if you come back here, whenever you try to edit this file, the Visual Studio will open up automatically. So let's test it. So I will right click, and I will click view and edit, and it will ask, you want to reopen local file or discard the local file, then download and edit file a new. So remember, there are two versions of the file. One is in the remote server, so in Valhalla server. The other one is temporary, you can save it in your local machine. So if you want to just reopen your local file, you can just do it. So let's open it. As you can see now, Visual Studio Code. So this software is Visual Studio Code is automatically opened. And there is a pretty long path, but you don't have to worry about that. This is the place where your temporary local file is saved. Now from here, suppose I want to make a very simple HTML page. So I will type HTML. And here, say there is a paragraph. And I want to say this is my first paragraph. That's it. So I just edited a temporary local file in my machine. And if I save it, so I will just click Command S, or also on top, you can just save your file. So I will save it. Then after it is saved, what you can see is if I save it and what you can see is shortly you will see the message from your the FileZilla that a file previously opened has been changed. So it will ask whether you want to upload this change, right? So let's say I want to just change it, yeah, upload this change. So yes. Now what happens? Your change in your local file is synchronized with your file located in the server. So in your Valhalla server, now you have test.html, and the file's contents is exactly the same as what you have just edited here. Okay, that's how to remotely access the file, and you can also edit your file. Now, how to test it? So in your browser, lastly, let's test whether you have this test.html file. So the way you can access your web page is, I already showed in your video lecture, but Valhalla server, HTTPS, and the tilde, and the CHAH is my user. And also here, this path is matched with your public HTML folder. So therefore, under here, I have M4T1 folder, and then what do I have? Test.html. So here you can see this is my first paragraph. This implies the file has been saved correctly. Okay, so in this short video, I demonstrated how to install and integrate this editor, Visual Studio Code, with your FTP, so secure FTP software, FileZilla. Okay, so after you save everything, you can just close when you are done. So I can just close everything. That's it. Thank you for watching.